What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. We are back with one of our few last of our off-season realistic rebuilds, as today we're going to be doing a Detroit Lions off-season realistic rebuild. Before we get into today's video, guys, if you could leave a like and of course subscribe to this Madden channel. If you are new here, it'd be greatly appreciated. It helps grow the channel. Thank you so much for that. But like I said, we are really close to being done with this series. We've been doing some off-season realistic rebuilds of a lot of teams. We've done every single team besides, of course, the Lions we're doing today, the Seahawks, and of course the Rams and the Bengals who are in the Super Bowl. And we're going to be getting all those teams done here in the next coming days. So of course, starting the Detroit Lions, one of the worst teams in the NFL, obviously a rebuilding franchise after trading Matthew Stafford away. So this is what the lineup looks like as of right now. There is a little bit of pieces here and there, but for the most part, there's a lot that needs to be filled here in Detroit. There's a lot that still needs to be solved here. So it's going to be kind of a project today for sure. So let's just go ahead and start today with the negotiation stage and kind of just see if there's anyone worth re-signing for this Detroit franchise. Of course, I'm just going to keep the young players here and go from there. So Josh Reynolds, Alex Anzalone. Honestly, man, I'm looking at this and there's not a single player that stands out to me as a guy I want back. Maybe, just maybe, I wouldn't mind bringing back our punter. That's about it. I think everyone else, you know what, you can walk and I'm fine. Maybe even our punter doesn't want to be here. And he's back. Okay, so we did get our punter back, so that's great. But everyone else, I'm content with just letting walk. I want to kind of just reset and kind of see what we can do here in the offseason on how we want to go forward with building the Lions the best we can this offseason. So the first thing we're going to look at is obviously the quarterback situation. And it seems like Detroit's probably stuck with Jared Goff for a little bit of time, obviously. So Detroit, I most likely think will probably end up drafting a quarterback in this upcoming draft. I don't think they'll do it with their first or with their obviously their second overall pick or anything like that, but I think there is obviously the potential of them drafting a quarterback, and that's the number one thing the Lions do need to solve. Jared Goff has always been solid at the very least. I mean, he made it to a Super Bowl. You could argue that Sean McVay was the reason for that, but of course we need to start to build the Lions roster even further than that. So that's the first thing I wanted to look at, to see what Jared Goff's contract actually looked like. So cutting him does us no good, really. So he's going to be the quarterback here. The offensive line is the one thing, though, that we can kind of hang our hat on. There's a lot of good veterans here at 28. Taylor Decker. You got Jackson here, who is 25, so that's great. Ragno, who I believe is a veteran as well. Now, he's actually 26, not too bad. And then Panay Sewell, I know, is young. They just drafted him. And then a right guard is maybe our one position that we could fill. TJ Hawkinson, a legit tight end. DeAndre Swift is a legit running back. Jamal Williams behind him is great. And then the wide receiver core, you do like Amon St. Brown, but other than that, you probably need to bring in another wide receiver. And the defense, I mean, there's just a lot we need to fill, but you like Jeffrey Okudah, and then you got Brockers, who's a veteran, so he's not going to be here any further. And then you also have a young corner and Amani, 26 years old. So yeah, I mean, the defense basically needs everything other than maybe a corner. Everything else is just kind of, yeah, it's not there. One thing I might trade away is Romeo here. He's 27 years old. Not sure will ever be good when, or not sure the defense will ever be good when he is still young. So we'll probably end up trading him away, to be honest with you, just to get something for him, because I really don't see us doing much. This team is going to be bad. So we're just going to see what we can get this offseason. Like I said, we're going to trade him away eventually, but let's just go to free agency and kind of see what we can get. We have a lot of cap space. We also have a lot of draft picks, I think. So we're just going to try to do our best. We're going to do everything we can to bring in some young pieces here to kind of help this roster out a little bit. So the defense is the biggest problem, obviously. So we got Marcus Williams, Rob Gronkowski, Odell, Michael Gallup. So I don't want to go too crazy in free agency, because I don't think Detroit should be on like a total spending spree and try to like get all these players here and try to build the roster in one offseason. I don't think that's the plan that should be going for them, but you know, maybe getting some young players. Like there is a middle linebacker I know I want for sure that might be out here that I think would fit on this roster like really nicely, and that's Chris Barnes over from Green Bay. If we could bring him in here to be a huge part of our rebuild process, I think that'd be a great addition to the team. So we'll sign him up and we'll have Chris Barnes join our middle linebacker core, hopefully 105 total points below everyone else's offer out of the water. Wide receivers, is there any wide receivers you want to go for? Odell makes no sense for us. Gallup, I don't think would be good enough, and we would be good enough when obviously we get a good quarterback here. Deontay Harris at 24 years old. Henry Ruggs, I mean, if he didn't actually do what he did in real life and he was a free agent, would make a lot of sense to sign him, but unfortunately it doesn't make any sense, and I don't think I'll ever sign him based off what he did. Auden Tate, 27-year-old Zay Jones. So yeah, not a ton here. So basically I also kind of want to look at Deontay Harris, who's 24 years old, could be another, you know, good wide receiver option at 24 years old. So we'll go ahead and throw him an offer to be a wide receiver for us. And then last but not least, well, I guess not really last, but you got Marcus Williams, but I bring in a lot. And then you got Ronnie Harris Jr. at the strong safety position. Jacoby Myers, we already signed a wide receiver. So I also just kind of want to take a look maybe at the cornerbacks who are available. You got Travarius Ward, AJ Boye, Mike Hughes at 25, Rasul Douglas, Steven Nelson, Jordan Lewis, Brian Poole. So yeah, we're probably going to fill out, obviously offer some other contracts here just to get some young players here. Like Nick here might be somebody that makes sense just to bring in as another corner. So we'll go for him. And then, like I said, we're going to throw some offers out and kind of see where we are after that. Today's video is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a DFS player props website that allows you to go over or under on players' projections. You're facing no one in the world but yourself and the numbers. So let me go ahead and show you a few examples of how it works. So on this example, I went for a flex play on Deebo Samuel, Cordell Patterson, Laviska Shenault, and David Johnson, who were all able to hit or go under the numbers, which led to me getting $170. That's just one example. And here's another example where I didn't actually get everyone correct, but I still didn't walk away with nothing. Aaron Jones was able to hit over his fantasy score. Chase Edmonds got over 10 fantasy points, and Mercedes Lewis got under 18.5 receiving yards. But unfortunately for me, DeAndre Hopkins did not get a touchdown in this game. If you do decide to sign up, my link is down in the description below. Use code Crushables. They are offering 100% deposit match up to $100. So I went ahead and offered quite a few contracts here in free agency day one, obviously. So we got an offer on Malik Hooker, who's 26 years old, and offered Deontay Harris, you guys saw, Chris Barnes as well. Kingsley Keek, I know we're going to be getting an edge rusher in the draft as well with our second overall pick. We got a corner that we offered, and we also have a defensive tackle that we offered. So, you know, some of these guys, like I said, would just be key pieces as part of our rebuild, and hopefully get some guys here that could be pretty good for us. So let's just go ahead and see if we get most of them. Hopefully we get all of them, but we'll see. And let's see what happens. So hopefully get lucky and get every single one of them. That'd be great. Yeah, we got every single person that we offered a contract to. So we're just slowly trying to rebuild the culture here in Detroit. I know Dan Campbell is a likable head coach. I don't know if he'll be here forever, but I do like him for the most part as a likable person. I just don't know if he's the greatest head coach in the world, but we'll see. We'll kind of see. But if we take a look at the lineup now that's all filled out, of course, wide receivers are now Armania St. Brown and Deontay Harris. Still love our offensive line other than probably right guard and then our tight end, TJ Hawkinson. So offensive line's not too bad. Of course, you need to address quarterback in the draft as well, potentially. And then defensively, you know, there's still definitely some needs here, but for the most part, it's not too bad. We're going to need a strong safety. We're going to need an outside linebacker because we're probably, like I said, going to end up trading Romeo here for something in the draft that would help us get a young player instead of having a 28-year-old here. So I think that's the next step. Is I think I'm done with free agency. I think those are all the offers I want to make, and then I think the rest I want to just focus on the draft, really. So just going to be developing this team even further. So we're going to trade our veteran linebacker here just to get something for him. That way we're just not walking away with nothing eventually. So other than that, after this trade, we'll probably be headed straight towards the NFL draft. So we're going to be trading Romeo over to the Los Angeles Chargers in order to get a third-round draft pick in this upcoming draft, and then a fourth-rounder next year. We just swap fourth-rounders next year. So love that addition. We get a third round, like I said, a third-rounder, and obviously that, you know, puts a gaping hole at the linebacker core, but I don't plan on signing anyone else in free agency, I don't think. I will double-check real quickly. Other than that, we're headed straight towards the draft, and we're going to be trying to draft as much players as possible to further develop this team as a young up-and-coming team, of course, in this rebuild. So here we are in the NFL draft. Of course, we have the second overall pick. We're going to be either walking away with Aiden Hutchinson or Kayvon Thibodeau here. So let's go ahead and see who the Jacksonville Jaguars select. Either way, I'm happy. So hopefully we get one or the other. Like I said, well, I mean, there's no hoping. We're going to get one or the other. I don't know why I said that, but let's go ahead and see what Jacksonville ends up taking. And they took Kayvon. So we're going to take Aiden Hutchinson here with our second overall pick. And then at the end of the draft, I think we're going to be going quarterback. So we're going to take Aiden Hutchinson here, of course. So 100% apparently the go-to, obviously the one or number 2 overall pick, Aiden Hutchinson there. And then let's go straight to pick number 32. And I think I kind of want to go quarterback here because Detroit is going to need a quarterback eventually to, you know, work around. Unless they're just sold on Jared Goff. Or we could go, honestly, the next pick, we could draft a quarterback as well. We also need a strong safety. So that's pretty important. We definitely need to walk away with a strong safety out of this draft because it is pretty bad. We do not have one at all. And the strong safeties that are on the board, not really that great, it looks like. So I'm not sure we're going to be able to get a good strong safety in this draft. But guess we'll kind of see. So do we draft Malik Willis here at the end of the draft here and potentially hope for him to be the quarterback of the future here in Detroit? Or do we want to go different here? Actually, you know what? I mean, we have back-to-back picks here in Madden here. So I am going to go ahead and draft Malik Willis to be our quarterback. I like him a lot. We're bringing him in to potentially be the quarterback of the future here for Detroit. Of course, like I said, we have the very next selection as well, where strong safety is a big gaping hole, but I mean, we could literally go anywhere. So Daxton Hill at free safety. Maybe this is the guy we take here. He's got C hit power, B awareness, D play recognition, D pursuit. He actually doesn't look that good either. I mean, we scouted him quite a bit. He doesn't look that great. Brees Hall, Josh, you got Kingsley. All right, man. What do we want to take here? Nakobe Dean. You have question mark, A awareness, B stamina, F injury, C impact block as a middle linebacker. All right, I'm a little torn here. Do we want to take Nakobe Dean here with a second round pick, or do we want to figure out something else? Nick Bonito as an outside linebacker wouldn't hurt either. Tyreek Smith down here on the board. B hit power, C man coverage, C zone. He just doesn't look that good. I don't know, man. I think we might be taking Nakobe Dean here. Not gonna lie. Don't know if this is an L or not, but you know what? I'm gonna take him here, and we'll get a middle linebacker to pair next to Chris Barnes. So I like that for the most part. Still need a safety very badly though, very badly. So let's go ahead and see if we can still address that. So hopefully that's still available to us. Maybe here, maybe one of those strong safeties fell. So we have Jaquan Brisker here out of Penn State. I mean, like I said, strong safety are our biggest gaping need. C tackle, C zone coverage. We just need someone there. B awareness. Hopefully he's in development. He's normal development, unfortunately, but we needed one so badly. So I can't be too upset with myself. And of course, we have another third round pick from that Romeo trade that we want to make here. So let's go ahead and see if we can get something here in the third round that'll help us out. Tomlinson, Tyreek Smith, Nolan Smith. You got Sean, Merlin Robinson, Ventrell Miller, Xavier Thomas, Avery Young, Jalen Green. Is there anyone here that I know is going to be good for us? I don't know if we've had the best draft. I'm not going to lie. Maybe a little bit of an L here. I'm not going to lie. But for the most part, it is what it is. Let's just see what we get here at the top. So we want to just draft like Merlin Robinson or Nolan Smith here to be one of our outside linebackers. Tyreek Smith is available too to us. B power moves, B tackle. Doesn't look terrible. A stamina. He actually looks all right. Maybe we just draft him. Nolan Smith. Yeah, let's just draft Tyreek Smith here in the third round. Tyreek Smith, welcome to Detroit. Head development speed rusher. Just another guy we can throw on the defensive line. So, you know what? Not the happiest with how this draft went, but it's all good at the end of the day. Hopefully our strong safety is at least decent because we literally had nothing there. But we'll see what the rest of the draft looks like for us. We're going to let CPU take the rest and kind of see how it goes for us. So this is what the team kind of looks like. It's going to be Jared Goff, Malik Willis at the quarterback spot. Eventually, of course, Malik Willis will probably take over for Jared Goff. That's kind of the plan. And then DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, Amon St. Brown, Quentin Cephas. You got Deontay Harris, TJ Hawkinson, Penei Sewell, Vaitai, Frank Wagner, Jackson, and Decker. And then looking at the defensive side of the football, you got Dean here. Outside linebackers are kind of a joke. Strong safety position is a little bit of a joke, but we're not too surprised. We got Keek here, and then I want to throw Doug over here at defensive tackle, and then our cornerback position is whatever. And then, of course, like I said, the linebacker core. But this would be, you know, getting this done in one offseason, a little bit of a tough task, obviously, to ask of us. So I'm not really too surprised that this team isn't that great. We're going to be pretty bad again. If this was a longer term rebuild, obviously I'd have a lot more time, but since this is just an off-season realistic rebuild, we did the best we could with the little amount of time that we did have. So we're just going to go ahead and celebrate this season. No expectations whatsoever. We're probably going to be pretty bad, but that's kind of what I expected going into this. So let's just go ahead and see if somehow, in some miracle way, we can make the playoffs, but probably not. So kind of what we all expected. We went 3-14, obviously, not very good whatsoever. Are we surprised? No, not really. I mean, this is kind of what you'd expect out of a Detroit. It'll be interesting to see how they handle the draft, if they'll maybe like end up drafting a quarterback later on, or if they don't even worry about drafting quarterback this year, because this draft isn't that quarterback heavy. But if we take a look at how the lineup looked like at the end of the year, Malik Willis, of course, never got in there, but you know, in real life, eventually you could probably see Malik Willis end up taking over for Jared Goff if that is something Detroit decides to go with, if they do end up drafting a quarterback or not. The offense was, it is what it is, and the defensively, our strong safety never really developed in anything. Aiden Hutchinson is a superstar development, which is great, and Dean actually ended up being pretty good at the middle linebacker position. So, you know what? Kind of what we expected. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats this season and kind of see how it went. And it also looks like we're about to get fired, so that's something there. Offense was 31st in the NFL. And then, of course, the defense was 32nd in the NFL. And I really just want to see who lost to us, to be honest with you. 28 touchdowns and 12 interceptions from Jared Goff. So he actually wasn't even that bad. 62% completion rating. Swift was very bad on the ground. Receiving wise, Deontay Harris had 1,000 yards. Monra St. Brown had 1,000 yards, and then 800, 200. And then defensively, I'm assuming sacks wise, we didn't have too much. Let's take a look. Flowers had 6.5, 5 from Aiden Hutchinson, and 3 from Keek. And interceptions, we had 4 from Trey Flowers at the outside linebacker position. Dean had 2, Needham with 2, and Amani with 2 as well. And then I'm assuming we didn't have any defensive touchdowns or anything. We actually had 2 safeties, both from Kingsley Keek, and no touchdowns. All right. I really have to see who lost to us because I just kind of want to troll them real quick. So let's just see how that kind of went for us and see who actually ended up, who actually lost to this team. So regular season, the Chicago Bears lost to us. Okay. And then we beat the Vikings as well. All right. Vikings lose again to the Detroit Lions. I thought we won 3 games. Oh, we also beat the Giants. What a poverty franchise. Okay. Here we go. Let's go ahead and see who makes it to the Super Bowl. Are we surprised we're not there? No, obviously not. And let's just, actually, I'm not going to get fired because I kind of want to see who wins the Super Bowl. So let's go to the Super Bowl, see who makes it real quick for this video, and kind of see how this is going to go. And then tomorrow, guys, when we do a Seattle one, should we trade Russell Wilson or not? I'm going to ask you guys at the end of this video. We have Tennessee and New Orleans. Let's go ahead and see how that's going to go, see who wins there. But like I said, we're going to do a Seahawks offseason realistic rebuild tomorrow. Should we trade Russell Wilson or not in that one? I'm also going to ask the community tab. We'll see what happens. So New Orleans goes on to win the Super Bowl, and that'll be it for me, guys. That was an offseason realistic rebuild of Detroit Lions. Obviously, we weren't very good. We kind of figured that going in. But thank you guys for watching. We're almost done with this series, and then, of course, we'll get to the long-term rebuilds that you guys love to see. But for now, this is Crushables 2. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.